Are we on the air?
Yes, you are.
It's OTA Live, man. Once a month, we put it down like this. No bio tonight, all right? As we just talked about tonight on the show, OTA Talk, with a very, very special guest. Like, we've had some special guests, but tonight, we're on a whole other level. Right?
A whole other level.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Mega City Countdown coming down at 11 o'clock. Stay tuned for that. But right now, gotta introduce Mr. Hank Shocklee from the Bomb Squad. What up, man?
Hey, how you doing, man? What's happening?
Man, it is such a pleasure to have you here. It is like, honestly, this is probably the most, like, I don't know if it could be topped right now. It's a pleasure to have
man,
you.
I hope I can live up to that, man.
You already have lived up to it. All right. Let's just get right into it, and I'll start with you. Obviously, I know what you do, but generations have come and gone, and I'm sure there's a lot of kids out there that don't know. If you had to tell one of those kids right now why what you have done is important to the history of hip hop, what would you tell them?
Well, I mean, it's hard for me to say. One of the things is I was one of the first, along with Marley Marl, maybe Herbie Azar a little bit, and Dre to an extent created this kind of sample-driven based music.
Dre kind of learned from you, though, no?
I think that Dre was already doing his thing more on the R&B level, and then when he heard my production and my style with the Bomb Squad, he kind of like flipped the switch from being more of an R&B type of a producer to being more of a street, urban hip-hop cat.
Okay, well, let's go back a little bit. Before Bomb Squad, before everything, Hank Shocklee, your influences.
First of all, my parents are West Indian, so I grew up listening to a lot of dancehall, a lot of Caribbean music, a lot of soca, a lot of ska.
What part of the West Indies?
Jamaica, Barbados, St. Kitts.
Beautiful.
It's like my family's all in the islands.
This is a huge Caribbean community, just so you know.
Okay. So that's my that's my background. And my father was also, his love also was, as well as, my mother was more into the reggae stuff. My father was more into jazz.
Okay.
So I got an extensive jazz background as well. So I guess the kind of two, I kind of like marriage those together into like a hip hop form, if you will.
Now, Public Enemy. How much of it was you? How much of it was Chuck? How much of it was the other members?
Well, it's funny because before there was Public Enemy, I have to go back to I was DJing. I was in a group, and I created a group we called Spectrum City, and with that, Chuck was one of my MC, and my brother was the DJ, and it kind of evolved. And once we evolved, I moved it into a club. I kind of like managed a nightclub out in Long Island, and then I brought in Terminator. It was my Friday night DJ, and my brother Keith was my Saturday night DJ, and Chuck was my MC. I was always a mentor. Chuck is like my little bro. I'm the one that kind of like I convinced him to do music. He didn't want to do music. It was kind of thing was I heard him do an announcement one day, at a college at one of the parties. And I liked his voice, So I was after him for about a year to just talking, yo man, I want you to MC. And he was like, hey, I don't do that. He says, that's not what I do. And so then one day, he came to me and said, all right, man, I'll do this. From then I went and showed him. I took him to the city. I was in the record pools, took him out to the city, showed him, the different, record companies and the artists that was making a lot of this music and stuff. So we just kept talking about music and just had conversations about life and things in general. One of the things that's good about Chuck is that we both had an experience back in the days where we went to this African American experience. So we both, took classes in Swahili and lessons and, African drum and things of that nature to kind of like broaden our horizons. And that was something that was offered at Adelphi University in the colleges. So from that point on, my love has always been, from my roots background, my love has always been about black people. My whole existence is about uplifting and bringing positive imagery and positive vibrations to the community, and that's something that we've always done, even through the days when we was at BAU. Like we would have schools, that whoever had the best attendance in the school for the year, we would give them a free show at their school. So it was things that we would always do, that always try to make kids understand that, look, man, it's about education, it's about knowledge, it's about wisdom, it's about understanding, and yeah, it's about music too.
Yeah. It's OTA Talk, Ty Harper, Raz Digital, and legendary producer, Public Enemy founder, Mr. Hank Shocklee. If you had to reflect on the vision and the intent that you had with Public Enemy, how much of it was exactly what you wanted it to be, and how much of it did you feel was skewed?
Well, you know something, it's funny because, you know, as you start to work with, you know, people, you know, everybody brings stuff to the table. It's just like you guys working together on the radio show.
Yeah.
You got two different personalities, and you all create one cohesive show. Mm-hmm. And I think that the complexities that makes the dynamics of the relationships, you know, sometimes you agree, sometimes you don't agree. Well, that's what makes the tension great. All right. And the beauty about PE was that the fact that we all didn't agree on everything. All right, and not everybody just sat there and listened to me and said verbatim, yo, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
You know, the wiggle room that everybody had to improvise, if you would, they can take this and kind of like move it in any direction that best fitted them. That's why Professor Griff, who lived right around the corner from me, all right, was also in the group. We grew up together. All right, he was teaching martial arts to a lot of younger kids. All right, so those young kids that grew up later became parts of the S1Ws. The same thing is with Flav. Flav lived next door to me on the same block. All right, so it's basically like almost like a family lineage that we have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, we were all brothers in the community, and the one thing that we always shared was a consciousness and a love for I would say for black people and for the betterment of knowledge and the upliftment of black people.